I hope all y'all are having a blessed day. We are very, very steamy here on the mountain today. This past week has been very, very warm and very, very humid. And Mama don't like humid. I get a brain fog and I just cannot function. I'm sorry there was no video earlier in the week, but we are here today with our next little project. And I want to thank one of my subscribers, Linda France. She posted a comment on my earlier 4-patch kaleidoscope quilt, and she reminded me about how much fun it was and reminded me that I had purchased more fabric to do more of them. So today we are going to be using this absolutely stunning Kaffe facet fabric. Here is the information on the selvage. It is PWPJ029 Floral Burst. And I believe the coloration is green, and it's just stunning. So how this works is I am going to take you over to the cutting table, and I will insert a photo over here of the first one that I did, the first 4-patch kaleidoscope that I did. And I tried that with a Pioneer Woman fabric, and the print was far too small to get a really good effect. It's still a very pretty quilt top, but you really need to buy a larger format fabric. You can buy panels for this, or you can buy large print. What I do is I find the exact repeat of the fabric, and that would be, I'm going to start right here at the copyright sign. See the copyright sign? So I'm going to go from there all the way over to the copyright sign over here. And that is a repeat. So you're going to cut 4 of those. So we are going to get started with this. I'm going to take you over to the cutting table, and I'm going to show you how to get set up in order to make the cuts and get our pieces of fabric. Okay, I am going to trim up to the very edge of this flower. So I'm going to make a straight cut down the whole thing, and I'm going to use a line on the cutting mat to level up the fold of the fabric. So after I make the cuts, I'm then going to tear it or cut it down the center fold and stack it. So it is straight and square. All right, so there's going to be a little bit of waste, but we can save this for log cabin or scrap or whatever. About 1.5 inches, and I'm just going to straighten it up. Okay, now we have a straight edge to work with, sort of. Yep. Everybody's going to say, you need to change your blade. Well, I just changed it. But of course, the minute you change your blade, you hit something. You hit the edge of your ruler or something. So now I am going to find this space down here. So you can see the little edge of the flower here, and here it is here. That is your repeat. So you cut down on that repeat, nice and straight like. And you have to do 1 repeat for every number of pieces you need in your block. I'm doing a 4-patch, so I need 4 repeats. The repeats on this fabric are 24 inches. So as a bare minimum, you need 24 times 4. Go figure that out. And I can tell you, if you were off a smidge, it's not the end of the planet. I have 1/8 of an inch there. So 1/8 of an inch before. And we will further match this up with pins once we get repeats cut. So I'm just making sure that things are straight down at the bottom and things are straight along the top. And I'm looking at the lines on my ruler, and they are straight. Now, if you feel that you can't hold your ruler steady, get yourself one of these 5-pound weights, and that will hold your fabric. That'll hold the ruler. So there is the first cut, and I'm just going to make sure it's cut. Again, we are lining up the bottom, the fold of the fabric, and then we're taking the piece that we just cut and lining it up, and start taking pins and just pin through exact areas. So the tip of this petal, I put the needle in, and then the tip of this petal, and I put the pin in, and that lines things up. And I just stick the pin in for a moment and line up this edge and straighten everything out. So now we cut our second repeat, and the line for the second repeat is way over here. Okay, that's cut. So that is 2 repeats, and we're just gonna, just to keep things orderly, pin on that pattern and here. Okay, and now we can pick it up and shake it and set it aside while we line up the next repeat. It is still very, very steamy here, so I may need to step away again and sit in front of the fan for a wee bit. And now we're just going to grab the same point here and the same point here, and I just pick it up and let it kind of shake out. And we are straight. We're going to put our weight on and cut. Fold this out of the way, and now this will be the last cut that we need to make. And you can, of course, just verify that everything is lined up. You don't have to be right down to the very, very thread. You do have a little bit of wiggle room, and there's a little bit of optical illusion that will fill in tiny, tiny mistakes. So here is our 4 repeats. And I am going to, at this point, take the pins out, and I am going to tear down the center fold, and it will tear straight. And then we can stack the individual pieces of fabric. 1, 2, and the last piece. Okay, so my salvage is down here. The next piece. This will be the next one. All right, so now we can find repeats and pin them together. I will zoom you in, but I am just going to the end of this green point, and I'm matching it up on all 4 pieces. Okay, and I'm going to give it a bit of a shake and level it out, and then just grab the pieces and shake it out, and that will help you line things up. And now we can go down a wee bit. I'm going to go to the point of this flower, or the point of that leaf, right there, right there, and right there. And I'm going to pin up like that, shake it, go down a wee bit. Let's do the tip of this leaf. 2, 3, 4, and then shake it out and pin up. And now we only need 1 more, so I will go to the tip of this petal and pin up. And the reason that I'm putting the pin up is because I've already straightened it here, so it's not going to be crooked between here and here. Okay, so that takes care of the one side of the fabric. And now we're going to do the same thing with the next layer. And there's my salvage. And you can technically just pile it on top here. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. I want to pick a pattern, and let's see. I'll go right here. And if you're off a few threads, don't worry about it. And I'm going to shake it out and let gravity help things line up for you. And I'm holding the pin perpendicular to the fabric. So I'm not letting it go like this. I'm holding it like this. And then it helps everything line up. And now we'll pick another pattern. Let's see, I'll go into that there lilac, holding it straight, giving it a bit of a tug. And now 1 more pin. We'll go to the tip of this leaf and give it a bit of a shake and pin up. So that is as difficult as it gets. Okay, and you can repeat the pinning process all the way across. All righty, I went and had a think, and I borrowed Sanjay's math brain. I've been having a brain meltdown. I'm going to do 4-inch blocks. So I'm going to cut strips that are 4-inch wide. So I will get 25 blocks out of this. And I will get 25 blocks out of the other section. Okay, this is my first stack of 4, and this is my second stack of 4. I could lay them on top of each other. Very happy with the way that's stacked. So we're going to do 4-inch strips. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pins out, and I am going to square up the one edge. And I'm going to go down the 21-inch line here on my cutting mat. And I'm going to use my weight, and I'm going to make the cut twice. So I'm just going to go through it again. Okay, so we're going to do 4-inch strips. Okay, get our weight. That's 4. That there is our first stack. That's 2. That's 3. I just changed this blade, and of course the first thing I did was tap on a ruler. And I have to cut off the salvage end, so I'm going to line it up on a line, and I'm going to trim off what I deem to be enough for the salvage. I need a total of 20, so I have a wee bit of room to spare. I'm cutting 1 inch off the bottom, turning it around, and I can use a smaller ruler right now. So we're going to do 4 inch. That's 2 blocks. That's 8, and this will be the last piece. And I don't know how much scrappage you want to save, but I'm not going to save those. All right, so now we have 1 block here and 1 block here. So I'm going to show you how this works. There's one, rotate 90 degrees, rotate 90 degrees, and rotate 90 degrees. Now, if you don't like that design, you rotate like that. Okay, so that one's pretty cool. And if you want to do something open and airy, you can do this. And that's real pretty too. So look at that, you get a nice diamond in the middle there. And this would be the second block from the other side of the fold. So we can do, let's put the orange in the middle. There you go. Oh, that's nice too. So are you getting the idea? Everybody say yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we're getting the idea. I am going to stack these up, and I'm going to finish cutting all of these. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 out of each strip. And there are 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we'll get 50 blocks if you do a 4 inch block. And then I will meet you right back here at the sewing machine, and we will start sewing these things together. Once we do that, it's chain piecing and it's webbing, and it goes real quick. I have this stack of everything all cut up, and I kind of made them cattywampus. And each stack, because remember we had 1 piece of fabric from the selvage to the fold, and then we had the other piece of fabric that was from the fold to the salvage. And I stacked them on top of each other once I had the patterns aligned. And I cut 4 inch squares, 4 by 4, and I have 2 blocks sitting right here. Okay, we're taking the first block, and you can just sit at your sewing machine and decide which corners you would like to put together. Now that certainly looks lovely. Let's see what this one looks like. And that looks very interesting as well. You take the first 2 pieces, match up your edges, and sew your 1/4 inch seam. And take your next 2 pieces and sew your 1/4 inch seam. And we're going to finger press, and then we'll finger press in the other direction, these. And that is your block. So you take these and your seams are folded in opposite directions, so this intersection will nest very nicely for you. And you can't get much easier than sewing a 4-patch. So if you are new to quilting, I think this is even easier than a potato chip block. Granted, there is a little math up front, because you got to figure out how wide you want to cut your strips. But if you wanted to make a larger kaleidoscope quilt, it would require about 6 yards of fabric. I think I purchased 4 yards of this, and I have some left. So if I wanted to make the quilt even larger, I most certainly could, because I could go cut up what's over there, what's left. That is your first block already done. So we're going to lay this one out and see what that looks like. There we go. That's real pretty. Yeah, I kind of like that one. I think I'm going to go with that. So you can play with your blocks to your heart's content, and you can decide how you like it. That's also kind of cute. And we're not going to sew these together yet. We're going to sew this entire stack, and then we're going to go over to our design wall and we're going to lay it out and find the most pleasing arrangement. You can kind of do it in colors. That kind of looks good, or you could align it with the bright pinks, or you could align it with the greens or the reds or the orange. You pick the way that you like the best. See, so that's another cool layout. When we get all of those sewed, we'll come back and we'll go to the design wall. Okay, we are ready for the next step. This is our entire quilt top. So I am going to finger press all of the seams, and then I'm just going to flip them over and run them through the machine, sewing them all together. You don't need to cut this piece of fabric apart, which is great in case you drop it on the floor, because when you get it back together, it'll be just the way you want it. The only thing you have to worry about is this one intersection right here, and they can't go too far straight because they're tied together. Now you can feel if there's a gap, this seam is not intersected. If there's no gap and it feels flat, you are good to go. Okay, so there is our block. And don't discount the combinations that are kind of meh. The ones that are not real pow in your face. You know, consider matching these types here together, because you need the variety of color and combination to make a pleasing quilt design. If you have all of them to make the biggest and boldest pattern you can, or all of them to make the pink in the center, then quilt is going to be very dull. So you need that give and take, and you need spots that are a little bit more subdued and a little bit less intense. So just continue on in this fashion, sewing your pairs together, folding the seams and finger pressing the seams in opposite directions, matching those nested seams and sewing them together. Okay, here we are with our blocks. I have 2 additional blocks over here, and I'm still playing around with the layout. I'm going to end the video here.
So as you can see, the breeze has blown most of the blocks off the wall and onto the floor. And this is what happens when you have a breeze come through the door. It knocks your entire quilt off the wall. I'm going to end the video here, and I will be coming back for part 2, where we finalize the design layout, and then we will web the entire quilt top together and get it all sewn together.
So I want to thank you all so very much for watching. Your comments just make my day, and I'd also love it if you would consider coming on over to Kaffe and checking out my website. I have lots of patterns for sale. I've got all sorts of different things available over there, and I would so love to have you in the membership club so you would get exclusive access to my content over there. And I would also very much love it if you would consider coming on over to our Discord and joining us over there. That way you can share pictures of your projects and chit chat with me and ask me questions, and I'll help you out. So I'm going to go sit in front of a fan and cool off for the evening. Thank you so very much for watching. Please have a very blessed day, a very blessed week ahead. I will talk to you real soon right back here at 70 Acres Studio with our next little project. Not sure what, not sure when. Take care of yourselves. I love you all very, very much. God bless.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy.